Welcome back to the $1 Million Landscaper podcast. We're your hosts, Scott and Katie Mulchan. So, Scott, we have actually had a pretty busy week inside of our $1 Million Academy. So, what's been going on there? Well, especially today.
Today was a very busy day. I had 3 phone calls. Part of the $1 Million Academy, we do coaching. So we have 90-minute coaching sessions they can do once a month, and actually a couple different members had all the same day, which is awesome. I like doing it all one day. But it was pretty interesting. So obviously right now, a lot of them are planning for the 2022 season, and, they're trying to get their numbers all set, getting their stuff in place for systems, procedures, and everything. That way everything's ready to go rock and roll when the spring comes around. They're ready to hit the dirt. So, one of the members I was talking to, they're using some, I'm not going to name the software, but they're using some brand name software for their landscaping business. And I've seen this in other softwares too. So it's not just one, but they're trying to get the numbers set, and looking at some of the way they're doing some of their things. The numbers weren't all right inside there. They didn't have the equipment costs in there correctly, or just some of the numbers weren't, like the overhead wasn't all in there correctly. And Katie has a real good saying for this, actually. But
yeah, because we're not anti-software. No. I think software is great and it can help you out. But don't think of it as like the be-all, end-all solution to all your problems. Because when it comes to software, your outputs are only as good as your inputs.
Absolutely.
And so if you didn't put it in, if you didn't set it up right from the beginning, or if you're not inputting things correctly as you go along, or your team isn't inputting things correctly, then your outputs are not going to be.
Exactly. And then this, again, there's no fault to the software. The software is awesome, but you have to get everybody on board. And that includes getting yourself all set up and make sure you're putting in the right information. So if it requires you to create an overhead budget, you need to make sure you have your numbers correct to put that information in there. And that's one of the things I'm seeing is, they're having like a separate bookkeeper accountant do all their books, but the numbers that they're putting in are not correct. I'm like looking at them like, no, this is, whatever, their salary was not correct, in the overhead, and so we had to change a few things. So they're also having issues not getting their teams on board to actually using this software. It's one of the things I'm seeing. And this, I can totally understand this, because we've seen in our business trying to get our teams to actually use the software to like just even clock in, clock out. Mm-hmm. And it all goes into setting your team or training your team to understand why they're doing this and why it's important for them to actually spend the time to do this.
And they need to know that they have to do it.
Yeah,
it's not in your suggestion. This is part of your job. You have to do it.
Yeah, and it's change, and nobody wants to do change. Even,
So give them a grace period. You don't expect them to have it perfectly day number 2.
And you have to point out why. I always tell people in the academy, what's the win in it for them? You have to point out the win in it for your team to do this. Otherwise, they're not going to be motivated to do any of this. So if you explain to them that if I understand my numbers better and I can start charging more, then we can give everybody raises, or we can get bonus systems or something like that. So that's the win in it for them. But I need your help on doing this. And that requires you to punch in, punch out, put all the materials that you're using, or whatever it is, make sure you're putting all the equipment down, whatever it is, I need your help with this. And it's just getting everybody on board. And that is a tough job, but it is their job. So that's one of the things. I had to talk to one of the members today. It's about his foreman, and you have to get your foreman on board to doing these things, whether he likes it or not. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So
that's like our little PSA about, now that everybody's kind of getting them set up for 2022. If you're using the software, make sure you're using it correctly. Like we said, your outputs are only as good as your inputs. And one of the softwares you said, you had to input your own equipment costs. It wouldn't calculate that. So that's something we can help people with, because we have that inside our academy where we've got spreadsheets that you can use to calculate your equipment costs.
It's our equipment calculator. Mm-hmm. And basically it takes into consideration, not only your purchase price, but interest when you're upfitting. That's one of the things that a lot of people leave off is like, when you buy these trucks, you're going to put lights and stickers and wraps and all this stuff on there.
All has to go
Shovel mounts, toolboxes, all this stuff goes on there is additional cost. So you need to consider this. That's one of the nice things we have in the academy is it helps you figure all that out. Tire changes, oil, services, all that crap that goes into maintaining a truck. You have to put this and take that in consideration. So we have that all in there for you. It's basically just punch in a couple numbers and it spits out what you need to charge per hour. So that's what he's going to do, and he's going to put it in the software, and it's going to help him charge appropriately for his services now. So
Yeah.
but it's now everybody's trying to hammer down, like I said, trying to understand their stuff, get themselves planned out. And speaking of planning, if you guys haven't grabbed it, we do have our free 2022. It seems weird to say 2022, but
It does. I'm not right. I keep writing 2021.
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll get it.
But our 2022 landscaping planning guide's in there. It's a great way to kind of like review what happened last year.
Well,
and
this
plan
is a
out.
free download that we've
Yep.
got for everybody. I think it was probably inside the Academy for paying members
Yes,
as well,
sorry.
but we have a free version as well.
Yep.
If you go to milliondollarlandscaper.com/.
2022 guide. You can grab this download, and
We've
it's
been
free.
doing lives on it, and we've
Yeah.
got links everywhere, as we always do.
Yep.
So if you need just like a little bit of a little oomph, a little kick to just get you started planning your 2022, go ahead and get that downloaded. It'll at least get you started.
Yep. And if you need help with your landscape business and getting yourself set up, definitely check out the $1 Million
Yeah,
Academy.
if you're using your software and it doesn't seem right, like said, check out the $1 Million Academy, because we do kind of help fill the gaps where software doesn't, because they all have their strengths and they all have their weaknesses, and so we can help you fill the little gaps.
Well, even if you don't have the software, you can't afford like the higher, I shouldn't say higher end, but you can't afford LMN, you can't afford Synced Up or something
If you're
like
just
that.
starting out, we have this all in spreadsheets.
Yes.
You don't have to use software at all. We're 100 years old.
Yeah.
We didn't have all this we didn't have all this fancy stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
So we've figured out how to do it all in spreadsheets.
Yeah, and like actually one of the members today when I was talking to him, he's like, I think I made more money when we used your spreadsheets than I did with the software. But it turned out he wasn't putting in the correct information, but it's just the way he's
Either
used
way,
to doing
we
our
chose to take that as a win and
Yeah.
a huge compliment to yes, we know we are sometimes better in software. Oh, sorry.
but no, it's just you have to be thinking about all these things and
Right.
definitely check out the download and check out the Academy if you need some help, and we'll get you all set up.
All right. Moving on to today's episode topic, we're going to talk about imposter syndrome a little bit. So hang tight and we'll be right back with that.
Yep.
The only app every landscaper needs. Company Cam makes it dead simple to communicate, document, and problem solve with guys in the field, no matter where you are. Company Cam brings documentation, communication, and liability protection together in one simple, easy-to-use app for you and your entire team. Take unlimited photos and videos, share custom reports, create flawless before and afters, and even communicate and share progress with homeowners with galleries and project timelines, all from your smartphone. Company Cam, the only app every landscaper needs. Check it out at companycam.com/million or in your app store.
We want to take a quick second to tell you about our friends over at Cycle CPA. I can't even express to you how important it is to have a good accountant on your side. You know you want accurate bookkeeping and financial statements every month. Instead, you're often left with limited time to focus on the accounting side of your business and no reports to show for it. At Cycle CPA, the landscaping accountants, they not only handle the bookkeeping, but also provide landscape industry benchmarking, job costing, financials by service line, advisory meetings, and much more. Cycle CPA has a team of landscaping accountants available to provide anything from bookkeeping to CFO services. Visit cyclecpa.com and for $100 off, mention the $1 Million Landscaper podcast. If you want to get the leads you want and turn your current clients into raving fans, then you need to try SendJim. They've created an exclusive offer just for our listeners. If you sign up today, you can get your first month for just $2. So if you haven't already, go to sendjim.io/MDL, where you can get even more exclusive deals just for $1 Million Landscaper podcast listeners. That's sendjim.io/MDL and take advantage of these awesome deals today. Welcome back, everybody. If you've never heard of imposter syndrome, it is, my definition of it, it's that little voice inside your head that tells you that you are not good enough, that you can't do something, like whatever that is. It can be literally anything. And it just makes you kind of question, like, who am I to be doing?
Yeah, whatever it is.
Whatever,
Yep.
And there's more professional definitions of it. Dr. Amy Kati, she's actually a best-selling author. She's a lecturer and does all that. Anyway, her like much more scientific definition is the imposter syndrome is a collection of feelings of inadequacy that persist despite evident success. And so The Harvard Business Review had, I saw another definition, and theirs was that it says that imposters suffer from chronic self-doubt and a sense of intellectual fraudulence that override any feelings of success or external proof of their competence. They seem unable to internalize their accomplishments, however successful they are in their field. So there's two like way fancier versions of it. But to me, like I said, it's just that nagging little voice of like, I'm not good enough. Who am I to be doing this? And if you've ever felt like this in your business, don't worry about it. Like, you are not alone. A lot of people have had this at one time or another.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond just like thinking you can't do any work or something. Because I feel a lot of guys feel like, I can do this, I can do that. I see a lot of this in landscapers where they say, I can't charge that. There's no way I can get that kind of money out here.
Yes.
So it goes beyond just like simple work, if that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, because a lot of people have a lot of confidence in that. But I mean, are there any times have you ever felt this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. One thing that comes to my head was, and this is like a couple of years after we first started doing water features, and I was asked to speak about water features in the landscaping field for our, it's called the Northwest Indiana Landscaping Association. And I had to get up in front of, I don't know, a couple hundred people and give a talk to everybody about water features. And I remember being scared to death. I'm like, who am I to get up here to talk to all these landscapers? You know, there's guys that are twice my age, 3 times my age out here, you know, and I got to get up here and talk about water features. But, you know, I did it. I started my way through it. It was very nerve-wracking. But I got through it, and afterwards I had people come up to me, you know, talking to me about water features. You know, they've either never considered water features or were too nervous about it because they're worried about leaks and all, you know, the stuff that goes into it. And it was just very interesting, and like it was just kind of a rewarding feeling to get out after that. But at first though, I was like, why would they pick me? You know, like
right. Another way to look at it is like, think about your favorite band or music group or whatever. Say you like country music. There's like a gajillion country music artists out there, but you like who you like because they're them. And that's completely okay. So it's kind of the same thing. You know, say you want to start doing ponds, water features or whatever, but oh no, there is, you know, somebody else already in my area that does it. It doesn't even matter. Don't even worry about it because they're not you. So,
and a lot of customers hire you because of the way you are, they've seen your past work, and not because of them.
Yeah, you have your own uniqueness that makes you, and you know, makes your business. So just don't even worry about those other people's. Like back to the country music example, we have like 3 country music radio stations in this area, but I tend to listen to the same one all the time because I like the DJs on that one better. Doesn't mean the other ones are inadequate, not up to stuff. No. No, it just means that I like this one, so that's what I listen to.
The same thing, like the water features, if we go back to that.
Yeah.
I like to design the water feature to look as natural as possible. I want to look like it's been there forever.
Not everybody likes that.
No, like you've been on some of these pond walk around things that we've been on, and I can't think
the like local pond tours and stuff like that.
Thank you. And there was one that was like 10 feet tall, like only like
we're in Indiana. We're in Northwest Indiana. Topography is not a thing here. It's very flat. And these people just had this like 10-foot tall waterfall coming up out of the earth. It was
stuck between 2 trees. It was terrible. It was like,
but people
loved it.
Loved it.
That's fine. It just wasn't our style. I would have built it that way. And like I've had people that want to build stuff like similar to that, and I just, that's not my style. I won't do it that way, you know. And
but there's a market out there for it somewhere, so
and they end up hiring somebody else, and that's fine. Like
there's enough to go around. There's plenty of work to go around.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you know, and this has come up many times in our lives. Like when we first started this podcast, if you told us when we started 180 some episodes ago that we'd be having sponsors. That's podcast sponsors in one word. We have sponsors. That we would be having sponsors, and that we would have all the awesome guests that we have had, and that we would have the reach that we had. I would have told you were nuts, because we never could have even imagined that it would be this great.
No.
Because we were like, oh gosh, do we want to do this? Like, who wants to hear what we have to say? But we did it anyway. We just did it anyway. We did it dirty. We just got started and we just did it. And we never let that imposter syndrome slow us down because we did have something, we have something to say. We can help people. We do have knowledge that other people don't have yet. And so even though we felt like a little bit like, oh, okay, who are we, Scott and Katie from Northwest Indiana, to do this? But, you know, we had to just kind of get past it and do it anyway.
It is still a little bit weird to think about it. Like even when we're down to GIE and having these people coming to us and
it was amazing.
Yeah, I loved it. It was just still like almost surreal, I guess. But it's a good feeling, and I appreciate everyone that has come up to us and thanked us and said, you know, how our podcast has helped them. We love that. We definitely appreciate hearing that kind of stuff.
Exactly, and we would never have pushed through and done it if we didn't ask ourselves, is it really true? Like, was it really true that we didn't have anything to say? No. Was it really true that we don't know anything? No. So
yeah, so no, I think it's definitely something like I said. I feel a lot of landscapers see or do this to themselves. Say, I can't charge for this. I can't raise my rates, and this is something I see all the time.
Back to the can't charge. Yeah, if you catch yourself saying that to yourself, is that really true, or is this just a story that you're telling yourself?
Yeah.
Because I know that this has come up with people inside of the academy. Scott has sat and gone through their numbers and everything with them, and it has come up that like, okay, here's what I need to be charging.
Yep.
And that can give you the confidence to be like, you know what, this is what I need to charge, and I can do it because I'm providing a good. You know if you've got a good company or not. You know what kind of quality service and everything that you provide, and so to me, having that knowledge can help get rid of that imposter syndrome, because if you have the physical, tangible knowledge that that's what you need to be charging, then it's like, oh, okay, I'm not just charging this much to like screw people over, or I think I want to have all this money. It's like, no, I'm a professional, and this is what a professional charges. Does that? I kind of blumbered my way through that, but does that make sense?
No, it's absolutely true.
Yeah, having that knowledge can help you be like, no, I'm, gosh dang it, I am worth it. I run a good business, a quality business, and this is what I need to charge.
Yeah, it is an eye-opening experience for people when they start seeing exactly what they need to charge. We actually just had a new member that's joined the academy, and before they joined, we had a little phone conversation. And they told me what they're charging per hour. And they told me what they're charging per hour. And then I asked them, okay, what do you pay your people? So I put the numbers in just our labor burden calculator. I put that in there. It calculates up, all your FICA, FUTA, SUTA, all that stuff, workman's comp, and just some basic information. And not knowing all their details, but just kind of using our state's.
Like a quick.
To give them an idea. And what they were charging and what their labor burden was costing for that employee would have put them a few cents.
It was like 10 cents or something.
Yeah, they were only making
profit.
10 cents profit on there. And that should have been like break-even point right there. So just having them see that number.
But they're one of those people that was like, oh, I can't charge more than that. It's like, ooh, okay. The minute you say that I can't charge more than that, that's that feeling of imposter. That's all that little chatter that's in your brain that, oh, I can't do this. And so knowledge is power. When you have that knowledge of, okay, this is what I need to charge, then you can charge that much. You have to charge that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had one member, Colby.
Yeah.
He had this same issue, and he started actually learning his numbers and seeing things, and he was able to go out and make a change and started increasing his prices and made a big difference in his business just financially.
Yeah. Well, that's why we get so fired up about this, because I don't want anybody ever undercharging just because you have that, insecurity and that imposter syndrome, that feeling of I can't do this, I can't charge more.
Yeah, no, it's important to understand all the numbers and everything, and it'll definitely help you overcome this and become more confident in whatever you're selling too. So
exactly.
And that goes on to, when you are actually out in the field, or not in the field, when you're actually out selling to customers, you can exude that confidence to the people, and they can feel that, and that's going to make them excited to do whatever project it is.
Exactly. People can pick up on your insecurities, and so if you don't feel real good about what you're charging, they're going to pick up on that. If you're like, yeah, okay, well, here's my price is this, but okay, thanks.
Well, I can drop it down 10,000.
I can drop it maybe, you don't come across the same way as if you're just confident and you're like, you know what, I've given you the best price that I can for the type of work that we do, take it or leave it.
Well, and then once you know your bottom dollar, because and this is kind of getting off a little bit off track, but know your bottom dollar when they say, I can't do it for that price. Can you drop it down?
Nope.
$5,000. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, this is the lowest I can go, and I'm giving the best deal I can right now. However, we can take this out and not do this, and we can do this part next year to fit your budget.
Chunk it down
but now
into
you
a smaller project.
You feel confident in that. If you're not feeling you're confident in your price, what I see a lot of times is people say, oh, I can drop it down that couple $1,000s. And you end up losing money on the job, or you're making even. So having that confidence, because you know your numbers, is a huge, huge deal.
Yes, and can help you not feel like that little imposter. So, and this can come up in a lot of ways in your business. So if there's in any part of your business, if you have these feelings of insecurity and that, air quotes, imposter syndrome coming up, the first thing I want you to do is just ask yourself, is this really true? Like Scott and I had to do. Is it really true that we have nothing to say? No, that's just the nonsense that that your head tells you. Because you can. It's probably not true.
Yeah,
our brains tend to lie. Just because you have a thought, that doesn't mean it's true. And this is something that's there. That's wisdom from Katie. This is something that I have. It took me well into adulthood to learn that just because I have a thought, it doesn't mean it's true. And so ask yourself, is it really true if this comes up? And if imposter syndrome comes up, another thing you can do is, like Scott and I said, get some knowledge. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. This is where that knowing your numbers and all that comes in, with that, I can't charge this, da-da-da-da-da. No, get some knowledge, get some tangible evidence. I don't want you to be like, oh, I just can't charge that, just like based on nothing. If you don't have any facts or numbers to back that up, go get some.
This happened exactly in our business with my dad. When I first started talking about doing water features, he's like, nobody's going to buy that around here. Nobody has that money for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was
around
based in nothing other than his thoughts.
Yeah, there was, and it became.
And there's something to be said for professional opinion and judgment. He had been around for a while.
Yes. But
it wasn't true, because you're the one who, I think not in so many words, you didn't ask, is this true? But you kind of did. You were like, no, I don't know that that's, I don't know, this is factual.
So I just started pushing it, and that became one of our top money producing avenues in our business. Yeah. So,
and like your favorite, you've got water in your veins, maybe.
I think so.
Aquaman. Anyway. Okay, my third tip, and this is kind of just like a little bonus thing. If this imposter syndrome is coming up, I don't know if this is a tip, but it's more of I just want you to know that you're human. Like, this is completely normal. Don't beat yourself up about it. This is more of just permission to be kind to yourself. And if it does come up, just laugh it off and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm human. These thoughts are normal. I just don't want you to get caught up in those thoughts and not make the progress that we know you can make in your business just because you're a little bit too scared and it seems like too, intimidating right now. So
and then I think one other thing to do is kind of surround yourself with people that have been there and done that.
That have been there and done that, or are willing to hold you up on your journey. Even if they haven't done it themselves, they're not going to be the downers. They're willing to kind of help hold you up on your way there. I really want you to flip that script from, who am I to be doing whatever XYZ to, who am I, why not me? Who am I to not do this? You're selling yourself short if you don't at least entertain the thought of who am I to not be doing this? Yeah. So
it could be something too, like that happened to me with the water features. It's something that I was truly passionate about and really wanted to do. And yes, at first I was nervous about doing it and thinking, why me? Why would they ask me to do that talk? But in the end, it's, like I said, one of the biggest things that, happened to our landscape business is doing that. And that's what we became known for in our area. So
questioning yourself, it doesn't make you an imposter. It just makes you human. Yep. So it's completely okay. So leave us a comment. Let us know. Is there, what's been giving you imposter syndrome? Is there anything, that you haven't been doing just because you've been a little bit afraid? And let us know if there's anything that we can do to help you kick those nasty thoughts to the curb.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Got some exit questions for me here?
Yep. All right. Who or where would you haunt if you're a ghost?
I think I've even told you this, that I would probably haunt you forever. Just because I would be a little bit of an asshole if I was a ghost. Like, I wouldn't be scary. I would just be like, you'd be asleep and I would like knock your water glass over so it splashed and hit you in the face. Like things like that, or like tie your shoelaces together.
Even if I've been nice and haven't done anything wrong? Just because?
Maybe I would, because I would probably think it's funny because, like I said, I'm a little bit of a jerk. So, it would be stuff like that. You'd be like sitting there and you'd be like, go to stand up and walk and your shoelaces are tied together. And you'd be like, damn it, come on, Ghost Katie, knock it off.
I hope I go first. Wow.
I would think it's funny.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
Well,
good to know. All right. Things start happening when I get older. I know when you're gone, I know what's going on.
What? Sorry, did you think I was going to say something like nice? Like,
well, I wasn't expecting all that.
Oh, sorry. Ooh. Did I have that answer too quickly?
Yeah. Put a little too much thought on this. All right. Would you rather be able to erase people's memory or predict their future?
I would predict the future.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think there's any use in erasing memories because life is what it is. But your future, it can be anything. So I would love to help people predict only good futures.
Okay. All right. Last one. If there is a sandwich named after you, what would be on it?
Ooh, this is fun. A sandwich, not like a hamburger.
It's a sandwich.
Okay, we'll go with sandwich. It would probably
something
be
bitter?
No, I'm not bitter. It would be delicious. Like if I go to any of like the local sandwich shops, like I like something with like bread that is like pretty hearty but not too hard. So it would have like delicious bread. It would definitely have like mayonnaise, lettuce, onions, probably turkey, a little bit of bacon, not too much, probably like avocados, tons of vegetables. I like vegetables in my sandwich. Like, so if you put avocados, maybe some cucumbers, some lettuce, even shredded up cabbage. Now it's turning into
that's a huge
salad.
Yeah.
Well, there's a place by us here that has really good sandwiches, like a little local shop, and they tend to put all that kind of stuff in there too. So it would be a big hearty sandwich with meat, veggies. It would have some good oil on there, and definitely on delicious like homemade bread.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
And so you got a lot of thought on that one too. So
I like sandwiches. If anyone who's watching, they can maybe see I have a couple of chins, and it's because I like sandwiches. I'm not ashamed of that.
All right, guys. Don't forget to grab your free download from themilliondollarlandscaper.com
Get started planning your 2022.
Yep. It's at milliondollarlandscaper.com/2022 guide.
Yep. And don't let any of that imposter syndrome hold you back. It is nonsense. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help you set those big goals for 2022 and move forward regardless of what your little brain might be telling you.
Yep. All right, guys. Hope you have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.